And where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules? The fight the rising gods. I need a hero.
After 50 days of brutal gameplay, 17 All-Stars have been evicted, and only 3 remain with a shot to win. Who will it be? Well, it could be any of them. Will it be Emma, the former winner looking for another win? Maeve, last season's runner-up searching for redemption? Or Alex, the 3-time vet with something to prove? All 3 are deserving, but only one can take the crown.
Good evening, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Welcome to the season finale of Big Brother. Over the course of the last 50 days, the 20 All-Stars have strategized, competed, fought with each other, and triumphed. And now, after 17 of them have left the game, only 3 remain in the house. Which of them will become the winner of Big Brother? We'll find out soon enough. But first, when we last left them, the final 3 were fighting it out in part 1 of the final 3-part head of household competition. Let's check back in with the final 3.
House guests, welcome to part 1 of the final 3-part head of household competition. The winner of this competition will advance directly to part 3. This competition is called All Starry Night, and here's how it works. Above you is a board showing a starry night full of your past house guests. Throughout the night, different house guest faces will light up. When a house guest face becomes lit, you will have to race to assemble a puzzle of that person's face. The first house guest to complete that puzzle will earn a point. The first house guest to earn 5 points will win part 1 and advance directly to part 3 of the final head of household competition. Are you ready to play All Starry Night? I got the first point. I'm really going to try to keep this up. As much as I trust that Maeve would take me to the final 2, I don't think Emma would, so I really need to win this to secure my own spot.
I'm killing this right now. I won part 1 of the final HOH last season, and I'm hoping to do it again here. I'm so close, only 1 point away.
Congratulations, Maeve! You have won Part 1 of the final 3-part Head of Household and will be advancing directly to Part 3.
So, Maeve has punched her ticket to Part 3, where she will face off against the winner of Part 2 to become the final Head of Household of the season. Coming up, Alex and Emma face off in Part 2 for a chance to join her. Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. Maeve has already advanced to Part 3 of the final HOH competition, and now Alex and Emma will compete for a chance to join her.
Welcome to Part 2 of the final 3-part Head of Household. The winner of this competition will move on to Part 3 to face off against Maeve. This competition is called Something's Fishy, and here's how it works. In front of you, you'll find 30 fish, each of which is saying something about the season. Your job is to pick out all of the fish that are lying. The person to pick out the most amount of incorrect phrases in the shortest amount of time will win Part 2 of the final 3-part HOH competition. Are you ready to play Something's Fishy? On Season 1, I was able to win Part 2 and got to compete for the final HOH. I'd like to do the same thing again this time around. The first statement I see is that Luke was nominated 3 times. I know right away that this is false. He was only nominated twice. You have to look really closely to catch these lies. For instance, Ross was the first HOH of the season, but he wasn't the first villain HOH. This one is a lie. Some of these are tricky. I know that Bella won HOH sometime around day 25, but I'm not sure exactly what day it was. I'm going to guess that it's false and hope for the best.
I'm going to be completely transparent. Lately, it's crossed my mind that I might need to cut Maeve if I win the final HOH. If I take Emma to the end, I win hands down. But I don't know if I have it in me to do that to Maeve. For now, I just need to focus on winning Part 2, because if I lose this, then I won't even have the chance to make that decision. I see the fishes saying that Anthony V was still in the game for what the bleep, and I know for a fact that I evicted him way before that. Originally, I thought that Erin didn't actually get a single vote until the final 4, but then I realized that she did get 1 vote in the fake double eviction. This statement is false. I can't tell if I want to worry more about getting them right or finishing faster. I know that Emma has some form of notes, so if she ties my score and me taking too much time to double check is what cost me, I'll be so defeated.
It's time to reveal the results of today's competition. Alex, you have finished with a score of 6, and your time was 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Emma, that means you must either score higher than a 6 or score 6 in a faster time. Emma, you have finished with a score of 5, which means congratulations, Alex! You have won Part 2 and will be moving on to face me in Part 3. where one of us will be crowned the final head of household of the season.
This sucks. Now I just have to hope that either Alex or Maeve will consider taking me to Final 2.
I'm so happy right now! Either Alex or I are guaranteed to be the final HOH. We are making it to Final 2.
The more I think about it, the more I'm realizing that I have to cut Maeve if I win Part 3. It would be absolutely insane, but I know that we've played very similar games and that she's had her final speech prepared for weeks now. Maeve is the biggest threat to win.
So, Maeve and Alex will face off against each other to become the final head of household. Coming up, the first 10 members of the jury sit down to discuss the merits of the final 3 and debate who deserves to be crowned the winner of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains. Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. One by one, the members of the jury were sent packing from the Big Brother house, but now the power shifts to their hands as they sit down and discuss who deserves to be crowned the winner of this season of Big Brother.
Hey guys!
Welcome.
Hey everyone.
James, that's a good angle. I can see your whole room.
Alrighty, it looks like everyone's here. Alrighty, shall we get started, Steven?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, everyone. Welcome to Big Brother All-Stars Jury Roundtable. Although all of you have been evicted from the game, you now get all of the power in the end and get to choose the winner of the first ever full All-Stars season. I know, Caitlin Powell, I know, James, it's crazy. However, before we can discuss the final 3, we have to know who the final 3 are. Does anybody have any guesses as to who will be juror number 10?
If it's Maeve, I'm leaving.
Alex or Maeve win veto, Aaron's gonna leave.
So I'm hearing possibly Maeve or Aaron. Well, I will tell you that this veto was once again the web, and of the final 4, only one person completed it. We made it hard. Let's welcome juror number 10.
Period!
Hello. Guys, I don't know why it lasted that long.
Yeah, I don't know why you did either.
So if anyone's wondering, Erin has officially played 104 out of a possible 108 days. Of the days that she's been could possibly play, she's played 96% of them. First person to hit over 100. So
100-day party. Woo!
But fourth
Did have a
place
party.
seems to be Erin's favorite position. Anywho, it's time to get down to it. So the final 3 is officially Alex DiGiacomo, Emma McIntyre, and Maeve Hegarty. It really is a stacked final 3, and we have a lot to discuss. Let's jump right in to part number 1, talking about the physical game of all 3 house guests. Would anyone like to get us started?
I mean, it's obvious who takes that. It's either Alex or Maeve. I
Alex
don't know.
and Maeve had both set records this season.
Maeve has
Doesn't
won
it-
more vetoes than Alex, and Alex has won more HOHs than Maeve.
Also, doesn't Maeve have the record for most comp wins overall?
So we'll go in alphabetical order always. So Alex.
I think in like the recent ones, like the K-Pow, Bella, me, I think like based on like talking to people during it, it was extremely important that he won those comps, and like otherwise, I don't know if he would still be in.
For me, it like kind of is really situational and like depends on what time period exactly. Cause like at first and like I guess earlier on, I was annoyed with Alex and he was one of my main targets because he was bothering me. But then other people managed to piss me off more, so then he kind of went up on the list. The other thing that I think Alex did well is even when he did put me up, he still like managed to make me feel secure and like he wasn't going after me. Whether he was or not, I don't really know. And it doesn't really matter. Just it was good going into like social game, like the way that he would talk and like make me feel like he wasn't going after me.
Oh yeah, Alex was great. I mean, easily one of the best games to play. Probably the best thing about his game was he learned from his like mistakes in the past. Because if you look at his 2 seasons, in season one, season two, like he was on good terms with everyone, but he was a very passive player. But this season, he kind of realized like, all right, I'm not gonna get screwed over by the same people again, like I did. I'm just gonna get him out. And look who we got out. He got David out. He got me out. He got Bella out. Got Aaron out. Like he's getting all Julie out. He's getting all these people out.
Yeah, I think that Alex was really good at making really big moves and then like not getting people mad at him for it. Like even when he told me that he was going to vote me out, I still wasn't like super mad at him because I mean, he has pretty good reasoning for everything that he did. And also every time that he made a really big move, he closed it too. So he wasn't never unsuccessful. Like getting up David was really big, and me and him were talking about that together, and we were like, well, I mean, if it doesn't work, we're kind of screwed.
Whenever he made a decision, he kind of thought through it, and he definitely had reason for it. He didn't just like argue from the beginning and lie or something like that. He like kind of thought through it, and he was like, this like these are hard decisions, and I know that, but he was just very honest throughout everything. So I feel like that's definitely something to note.
Yes, James.
Okay, something that we haven't like talked about yet is anything from the pre-jury. I mean, I'm sure you're all aware about this, but there was, a little bit of a big alliance with all except for the season 3 people. Me and Alex really early in the season were like against it, and we wanted to get out Anthony Hayes, but me and Alex kind of like took our opportunity when he was getting, like when he was nominated, and Alex was he was always one person who was constantly making big moves.
I just want to say that like in the beginning, I actually like hated Alex as a player, because he like wasn't honest with me about the group chat, even though I had like suspicions.
Does anyone have any final points?
I was just gonna say I think he also played a really good like game like in the competitions wise. Just like whenever he needed to win, he won. And he kind of knew when to like back down and like throw a comp. So I feel like he was very smart in that sense. So I feel like that's like important to note.
Well, that was a great discussion on all things Alex DiGiacomo's game. But now we shall move on to person number 2, which is Emma McIntyre. So, does anyone have any opening thoughts?
Emma hasn't talked to me for like since week one. Since week one, I like put her up, and she was like, "Oh, okay, can you not put me up?" I was like, "I'm gonna put you up," and I did. And she was like, "Oh, I hope we can, have like a little lines or whatever." Haven't heard a word from her until I got evicted. So thanks for that.
Don't worry, Luke. She definitely talked about you, so there's that.
Yeah, well, and she can talk
The only
to
times
me,
Emma
so I don't
texted me was
respect
to ask to
that.
keep
You're gonna
me
say something,
keep her
like, tell
safe.
me.
So. And then she was like, "Oh my god, we need to get closer and like have an alliance." And then she never texted me
False.
again.
Never happened.
For Emma, I definitely think Maeve and Alex, they've definitely had better games in terms of comps. But I will say that, like the first season, Emma flew under the radar completely almost the entire season. Whereas I feel like this season, she won vetoes when she needed to save herself. Emma has stepped up her game this season.
I just like don't like I get it. You have close allies and whatever, but I had close allies too, but I would never sacrifice myself for them. Like I understand like she already won and she wants her friend to win. Yeah, I want Alex to win too, like, but I'm not gonna sacrifice myself for him to win.
I think it was part of her social game to say that she wanted to go out because she knew that there was no way that she was going to go out, that everyone was still going to vote. I guess it was Bella in both cases. I think she knew that Bella was going to go out both times either way. So her just saying that just made it seem like less of a threat again. And that was her way of getting to the final 3 for the second time.
Even though Emma was like trying to like get me to stay, I like said to her, I was like, if you really want to go out, like you can like threaten other people and they're not going to keep you in if you threaten them. But she's like, oh, I'm not going to do that because like I wouldn't actually, work against those people. So I think in that way, she like wasn't just trying to like keep me, because if she really wanted to keep me like and not wanted to play for herself and she wasn't thinking about her own social game, she would have like destroyed her game to keep me in.
Honestly, I think people don't give Emma enough credit. Am I saying she's playing better than someone like Alex? No, because she's just not in the spotlight doing it. She's obviously stepped up her game. She's won 3 comps. Her social game is amazing. No one's looking to take her out. Like when you put Emma up, who's ever next to Emma goes home.
Yeah, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to try to like assume what Emma really meant by saying, "Hey, I don't want to be in the game anymore." Like I feel like you gotta just take that at face value. I think I'm pretty adamant about like being loyal to your allies, and that like led to me targeting certain people and stuff like that. And yeah, so there's definitely like credit should go to that. It's just I don't think we should be diving too deep into a statement that there's no proof the other way.
I feel like Emma played like a remarkable social game, but that really shouldn't be something that could like carry you to the end personally, like what I think. She never really like came to me at least and said, here's something that we should do. Like here's a plan, here's a flip, something like that.
Let's bring this to a close. Juliana.
I just think when you put it in comparison to Alex and Maeve's comp games and social games, it doesn't compare in my opinion.
Bella.
I have a question for everyone. Why would Emma have needed to win comps? That would have just made her game so much worse. If she had been winning comps this whole season, she would have gone home so much earlier, and she didn't need to win comps because she had a strong enough social game to get to the end. So, like, why would she have even needed to win comps?
Well, with that being said, let's move on to the final member of the final three, that being Maeve Haggerty.
I love Maeve. I worked with her like the whole game basically. She was always honest with me, always talked strategy with me. I trusted her a lot. Towards the end of the game, we had a deal not to nominate each other, which was one of the reasons she didn't nominate me. Also, she did like I was saying, she did a really good job being honest with me about votes and also telling me ahead of time, because multiple people who I was really close with, like everyone who I was really close with, would wait until after they voted me out to tell me, whereas Maeve would tell me before and tell me why, and like also give me a chance to like convince her or like at least try. And so when Maeve would tell me too, I knew that the other house, like the rest of the house, was always going to go with like what she was saying, because I knew she was a smart player.
James just said like him and Maeve are super close to season 4. And I think what people are forgetting about Maeve and also about Reza too, perhaps you, they only lost by 1 vote. Like 1 vote could have been the difference, and she or Reza would have been the winner, and like as of right now. So James says that this season really helped her reputation a lot.
Season 4 wasn't really broadcasted in the way that a lot of people knew what happened during season 4. And so I knew Maeve played, and I knew that she was runner-up, but it was always kind of in the back of my head, and I totally forgot that she was runner-up like half the time. So I feel like she did have a really good game that season, and a lot of people are forgetting that she did almost win. You can debate this, but I feel like her game is it's very similar to Alex's, but it's more so a mixture of both Alex's and Emma's, because she's had the comp wins like Alex, but she's had more of a social game like Emma, where she's been able to fly under the radar.
Yeah, I like Maeve's game a lot. I think she's made some like the biggest moves in the game. Like no one was gonna put Dan up. Like if I was the HOH that week and someone was like, "We need a backdoor Dan," I probably wouldn't have done it. I mean, like yeah, she had like that whole big group backing her and all, but like she actually went through with it.
At long last, Juliana Steinmetz.
I think I 100% underestimated Maeve's game going into it. I mean, that being like I didn't know much about. Well, actually, I did know a lot about season 4 because James never talks about it. But like I only ever hear about James winning because he loves to remind us. So I always kind of thought of like Maeve as like kind of like a background character to James's win. So I think she definitely impressed me.
Cool.
Yeah, so James just said what he was going to say in the chat. Like, James and Maeve had like a mutual understanding that they were going to work closely together, in the season. But this season, he feels like although they were working closely together in season 4, this season Maeve really stepped up and played an independent game.
It's now up to you guys to decide what you think is the most impressive, a combination of physically, socially, and strategically. So we have talked here a lot about all of those things. However, there is only so much that you guys have seen that we can say right now, etc. And some things you will need to hear directly from them.
On Friday night, you're all gonna get a chance to ask 3 questions to the finalists, the final 2, and then you're all gonna cast your vote. And we'll see you on Friday night. Yeah, and you guys, plus one other person, is gonna crown the winner of Big Brother.
See you guys on
Bye.
Friday.
Coming up, part 3 of the final HOH competition plays out, and the final head of household of the season will be crowned. Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. After 50 days of competitions, it all comes down to this. Part 3 of the final head of household competition, where Alex and Maeve will face off against each other. Let's head to the backyard to get this competition started. Alex and Maeve, welcome to part 3 of the final head of household competition. The winner of this competition will not only secure their spot in the final 2, but will also have only a few minutes to decide who to bring with them and who to send out the door. This competition is called Scales of Just Us, and here's how it works. In just a little bit, the jury will be voting for who they think deserves to win this season of Big Brother. But first, we are going to see how well you know them. Each juror was asked a question about their time in the game. You will be given 2 options as to what their answer could have been. If you guess their answer correctly, you will earn a point. The house guest with the most points after 10 rounds will become the final head of household of the season and will decide who to bring with them to the final 2. Do you both understand? Alright, then let's get started.
Question number 1. Luke said, "My favorite competition that I competed in this season was A. BB Comics. Even though I lost by 6 seconds, the comics were fun and creative." Or is it B. Holding On for a Hero? It was a great opener to the season. Plus, it was my first HOH win of the game. Was Luke's favorite competition that he competed in A. BB Comics, or B. Holding On for a Hero? Is everyone ready? Alrighty. Reveal in 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, in.
My favorite competition was BB Comics.
The correct answer was A. BB Comics.
Look at us.
Tied at 0-0.
All right. This next statement is from Ross. Ross says, "If I could change one thing I did this season, it would be A, to put up non-competition threats to lose the HPV competition so that I could stay HOH. Or B, try harder to win the final 12 HOH. I was feeling too comfortable and purposely lost." If Ross could change one thing this season, would it be A, to put up non-competition threats to lose the HPV competition, or B, to try harder in the final 12 HOH? All right, 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Says A, and Maeve says B.
The correct answer is...
If I could change one thing I did this season, it would be to put up non-competition threats to lose the HPV competition so I could stay HOH.
A, Alex scores a point.
Alex currently leads 1 to Maeve's 0. This next question is from James.
That's Plue.
James said, "The person that I feel most betrayed by is..."
Which one of us?
A. Alex. He was my number one ally this season. I guess we just weren't as close as I thought. Or B. Maeve. Maeve and I ran season 4 together, yet she was the one to take me out this time. So, did James feel most betrayed by A. Alex or B. Maeve?
If I'm wrong,
Look at us.
Alrighty, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Both say A. Alex.
The person I feel the most betrayed by this season was Alex. He was my number one this season, but I guess we weren't as close as I thought.
it's because he doesn't believe that I made the move.
The correct answer is A. Alex.
He really
Both
told
score
me.
a point, which means Alex has 2 and Maeve has 1.
Love you, Ricky from Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don.
And this next one is from Juliana. Juliana says, my favorite moment from the season was A, the house meeting after Bella put up Grace. 4 weeks of anger finally was let out and the game finally changed. Or B, winning BB Comics. It was a super fun comp and I wasn't expecting to win. I was able to save myself and stay a few more weeks. Did Juliana say her favorite moment from the season was A, the house meeting after Bella put up Grace, or B, winning BB Comics? Are you both ready? 3, 2, 1, reveal. Both say A. The correct answer is
My favorite moment from the season was winning BB Comics. It was a super fun comp, and I wasn't expecting to win. I was able to save myself and stay a few more weeks.
correct answer is B. Neither of you score a point.
Please. She would have been evicted if that house meeting didn't happen.
Alrighty, moving on.
Love you, Janelle.
Moving on to question number 5. This one comes from Anthony Ventresca. Alrighty, Anthony said, the biggest mistake I made this season was A, talking to too many people. At a certain point, nobody trusted anything that I had to say because everyone knew I was working with everyone. Or B, trying to flip the vote to keep Ross. If I just voted him out, I wouldn't have put as big of a target on my back.
Repeat
Did Anthony say his biggest mistake was A, talking to too many people, or B, trying to flip the vote to keep Ross? Alrighty, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Both say B. The correct answer is
the biggest mistake I made in the game was trying to flip the vote to keep Ross. If I had just voted him out, I would never put as big of a target as I did on my back.
The correct answer is B. Flipping the vote to keep Ross.
You barely talk to
Alex,
anyone.
yeah. 3. Maeve has 2.
Moving on to Reza. Reza said, the biggest thing I was worried about coming into this season was A, making new allies outside of the people I worked with on my season, or B, not being able to prove that I deserved to be an all-star. Did Reza say that the biggest thing he worried about coming into the season was A, making allies outside of the people he worked with, or B, not being able to prove that he deserved to be an all-star? Are you both ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Alex says A, Maeve says B. The correct answer is
the biggest thing I was worried about coming into this season was making allies with new people outside of the people I worked with in my season.
The correct answer is A, Alex scores. And that means Alex has a score of 4 and Maeve has a score of 2.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on. This comes from Bella. Bella says, the hardest person to have a conversation with in the house was with A, Luke. I feel like we never really got along, so it was hard to have a real conversation with him. Or B, with Reza. He never talked to me much, and when we did, he always made things way more confusing than they needed to be. So, did Bella find it hardest to have a conversation with A, Luke, or B, Reza?
They're all such good friends. Such close allies.
Alrighty, is everyone ready?
Sure.
3, 2, 1, reveal. We have a B from both. The correct answer is
The hardest person to have a conversation with in the house was Reza. He never talked to me much, and when he did, he made things way more confusing than they needed to be.
the correct answer is B, Reza.
Reza didn't say anything to anyone.
Alex has 5, Maeve has 3. 3 questions left.
This one comes from Caitlin. Caitlin says, the biggest thing I regret doing in the game was A, backdooring Juliana. I didn't have a lot of time to think about my decisions because it was a double eviction. If I had more time, I probably wouldn't have done it. Or was it B, splitting my vote to keep Bella at the final 7? It was that move that was the final straw in losing trust with Alex and Maeve. If I stuck to our final 4 entirely, I might have not gone out in 6th place.
That's not true.
I still feel so bad about that.
Was Caitlin's biggest regret in the game A, backdooring Juliana, or B, splitting her vote with Julia to keep Bella at the final 7?
We would not have kept her.
You both ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
You suck.
The correct answer is
The biggest thing I regret doing in the game was splitting my vote to keep Bella at the final 7. It was that move that was the final straw in losing trust with Alex and Maeve, and if I had stuck to our final 4 entirely, I might not have gone out in 6th place.
correct answer is B.
This next statement comes from Julia. Julia said, the biggest thing that I wasn't expecting this season was A, making it as far as I did. I knew that the competition was going to be tough, so I am extremely proud of how far I made it. Or B, the heroes versus villains twist. It turned the game upside down and was very unexpected. The biggest thing that Julia wasn't expecting was A, making it as far as she did, or B, the heroes versus villains twist. Is everyone ready? Is that it? Okay. All right, and 3, 2, 1, reveal. Both say A.
The biggest thing I wasn't expecting this season was making it as far as I did. I knew the competition was going to be tough, so I'm proud that I made it this far.
Both are correct. We will do this last question, but
Julia would never say that about the HBV comp. Please, that was such a Scott answer. That was such a.
And we'll do the last question just for fun.
for fun.
Aaron said, coming into this season, the biggest obstacle I had to overcome was A, being a former winner and a huge threat. I knew that I needed to keep my head low and keep bigger targets in front of me, especially in the beginning of the game. Or B, mending my relationship with Bella and Ross. I've screwed them over in both seasons 1 and 2, and I needed them on my side again.
Ooh.
Erin's biggest obstacle was A, being a former winner and a huge threat, or B, mending her relationship with Bella and Ross. And 3, 2, 1, reveal. Both say A. The correct answer is
Coming in this season, the biggest obstacle I had to overcome was being a former winner and a huge threat. I knew that I needed to keep my head low and keep bigger targets in front of me, especially in the beginning of the game.
correct answer is A, which means with 8 points. Congratulations, Alex! You are the final head of household of the season.
Good job!
Please head inside and get ready to make your decision on who to take with you to the final 2. So, Alex is the final head of household of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains. Coming up, we get to the final eviction of the season. Will it be Emma or Maeve that falls just short of the final 2? Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. Moments ago, Alex became the final head of household of the season. Now he must choose to evict either Emma or Maeve, making them the final member of the jury. Let's head to the living room to get to his decision. House guests, it's time for the final live eviction of the season. Emma, Maeve, in just moments, Alex will cast his deciding vote to evict, but before he does, you each have one final chance to sway his vote with one brief statement. Emma, you're up first.
I just want both of you to know how incredibly honored I am to have played with you both. I'm so happy to have grown closer to you both. This isn't really a plea, but I love you both.
Thank you, Emma. Maeve, you're up.
I've been waiting for this moment since we made our final two, and I truly don't know which one of us would win if you took me to the final two, but I know that I would take you no matter what. I don't care which one of us wins because we got here together. I hope and pray that you stay loyal like you were planning on. We've worked so hard to get here. All the speeches I've written involve sitting next to you, because I never thought for a second that we wouldn't take each other to the end. I never would have taken anyone over you, and I hope you won't either. You're literally my best friend in this game, and I'm really counting on you here.
Thank you both. Alex, it's now time for you to make your all-important decision. Just a reminder that when Alex casts his vote, the evicted house guest will have just a few moments to say their goodbyes, gather her belongings, and walk out the front door. Alex, please stand at the head of the living room, face Emma and Maeve, and make your decision.
Maeve, we did this together and we'll finish it together. Leftovers until the end. I'm so sorry, but I vote to evict Emma.
It's official. Emma, for the first time, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. Emma, have a seat. Let's talk. So you were not only a part of Big Brother from the very beginning, but you were the first ever winner. 5 seasons later, you return and make it to finale night for a second time. Can you just describe what this entire experience has been like?
Honestly, my motto for the first season and now this season has just been go with the flow and ride the wave. I couldn't be happier with the experience I've had, and I couldn't be happier with all the relationships I've formed from Big Brother. So, love this game and excited to see the future seasons.
Emma, seriously, thank you so much for coming back to play again. In just a few moments, you will cast your vote for a winner of Big Brother, so stay right there. When we return, the jury learns of Emma's eviction as they prepare to question Alex and Maeve one last time before the final vote of the season goes down. Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. One at a time, the jurors were sent packing from the game, but now the power shifts back into their hands as they decide the winner. Please welcome back Luke, Ross, James, Juliana, Anthony V, Reza, Bella, Caitlin, Julia, Erin, and our final juror, Emma. Welcome back, everyone, and with the jury reassembled, it's time for them to question the final two. Alex and Maeve, I am sitting here with the 11 members of the jury who are all back to cast their vote for who they believe the winner of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains should be. But before they do, They will be asking you a few questions to help them inform their decision. Our first question comes from Luke.
Alex. Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You're looking pretty sexy.
Thanks, dude. I was admiring myself in the mirror earlier. Okay. For you, Alex, what do you think was your most important move?
I definitely think my most important move was blowing up the games of three certain people who were extremely well connected. I'm sure we all know that Anthony, James, and Aaron. I cannot, as soon as I did that, I told myself, I can't believe I just did that. But then I did believe that I did that because it was what needed to happen. I would have never done that any other time that I played or any other point of the season, but I realized that it had to be done. So I really bucked up and, exposed the information that I felt needed to be exposed to save people that I trusted more and stop the people that I didn't trust from getting those people I trusted out.
Thank you, Alex.
You're
Yes.
so welcome.
Our next question is going to Maeve, and it comes from Erin. So, Erin, take it away.
Okay, 1 second. I need to. Okay, Maeve. Hello. How did you decide when was the right time to make some of your bigger moves, like turning on James?
Okay, well, obviously my biggest move in this game was nominating and evicting James under my HOH. From an outsider point of view, you might be like lost as to why I made this decision, but there was a point where I just got pushed over the edge. I found out from other people that he had said he was using me as a pawn, that I was just kind of doing his dirty work. That was what really set me over the edge, but it was a buildup. It was a buildup of things. He lied to me about a few things. From context clues, I knew there was an alliance going on between James, Alex, Anthony V, and Aaron, and James straight up lied about it to my face, and that just raised more flags. And I knew that in this game he has really good connections. In the past, that's what won him the game. And I knew since all the people I was talking to, he was talking to more. And I found that very threatening. And I teamed up with some people. Well, obviously, it was my executive decision. People agreed with me, and I made the decision. People tagged along, and James doesn't believe that it was my move. But in the end, I do believe I played the biggest part in that move. No one influenced me to do that. That was obviously like my own move.
Thank you, Maeve. Our next question comes from Bella, and it is for Alex. So, Bella, you can take it away.
Hi. Hi, Alex.
Hey.
My question is, which part of the game do you think benefited you the most? Strategic, social, or physical?
Oh, okay. As shocking as this is coming from me, you said strategic, social, or physical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As crazy as this is coming from me, I think my physical game benefited me most, which I'm taking as comp wins, because after making the move that I did against Anthony, Aaron, and James, obviously I took all the heat from that. And then I realized that the only way I was gonna get through all the backfire and the backlash was winning safety, and I did that. And for the fact from this final HOH, I say it again in my final plea, but I won 5 HOHs in a row, and all the ones I was eligible for. So that's what really kept me safe, because at that point there was no more trying to get connections with people, this and that. It was, I needed to keep myself safe, and comps was the only way to do that, and I did it.
Thank you, Alex. Alrighty, our next question is for Maeve, and it comes from Reza. So Reza, take it away.
Yeah, maybe you just talked about a big move you made, and obviously you made a lot of big moves during the game. Are there any that you regret or wish you could take back?
I'm gonna repeat what I said to Anthony Ventresco on day 32, since it still holds true to me. And I quote, I wrote it down. I've been told that something is a bad move in this game several times in Big Brother, yet I've never regretted one of my moves from this season or the past, and I live by that.
So truly, every move I've made in this game has led me to this spot right now next to Alex, my final two. And if I changed any decision I made, I would mess with the Big Brother Matrix, right? Most likely I would not be here today if I changed one thing. One of my goals each time I play this game is to think everything through before making even the smallest decisions so that I have no regrets by the end. I can say proudly I've completely accomplished this goal. One of the many goals I've met this season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maeve. Next up, we have a question for Alex, and it is from Ross. So, Ross, you have the floor.
I know you're driving too, so.
Alexander,
Hey.
how was your game different from Maeve's?
My game was different from Maeve's. I'd say before me and Maeve joined forces on the legendary day 20, which will forever be burned in my brain. Before that, we had very different games. And then when we joined up, one of the things that made us work so well together was keeping people until as long as we could, realizing that we weren't working together. So my game was different from Maeve's because as shocking as this is, I I wouldn't say manipulated people, but Maeve has told me before that she takes pride in being honest with people and then that. And I take pride in saying that, I had to turn my back on people when I had to. And just like Maeve said in her previous answer, I don't regret that. So that was kind of the dynamic in which where I differed from Maeve. And a lot of people think that that's like the lesser gameplay or the less respectful gameplay, but it still got me to the final two. So I don't think it was any less. If anything, I think it was a bad dynamic of the gameplay, but that's how I differed from Maeve.
Alrighty, thank you, Alex. The next question comes from James, and it is for Maeve.
Hey, Maeve. So how is your game different from Alex?
Okay. So we all know Alex is the charming, funny guy of the season. Happens every time. We all know this. But don't confuse his charm for skill. The last thing I want to see tonight is people voting for him because he is funnier or nicer to you. Obviously, Alex and I played very similar games since we were so close, but I do see differences. I took more of a social approach this season, making very few enemies in this game. And most times, I made up with these enemies before they left for jury because I knew people being bitter towards me in the end game is never a good thing. I also made it part of my strategy not to ignore people for an extensive amount of time, whereas Alex chose to ignore several people when he had to tell them the truth. I take pride in my honesty I've had with all of you this season, making sure only to lie when it was necessary, instead of throwing out lies left and right. Before almost each and every vote and decision I had to make, I texted the people involved beforehand, letting them know of the nomination or vote I was going to make. At the end of the day, I mostly made the decisions between Alex and I, along with presenting all the pros and cons over FaceTime or text. While I may have consulted him in many decisions, ultimately, I made the decision best for my own game without letting other people control my actions.
Cool. Alrighty, thank you, Maeve. And finally, Emma, as the most recently evicted juror, you can ask a question to either member of the final two. So take it away.
So I am with so much love for both of these people. But I do just have one question. It's very they both have to answer it. I'm sorry. They both have to answer it.
Okay.
Favorite Big Time Rush character and why? This will sway me. This will sway me.
Alex, you can go first.
Maeve said it herself. I'm charming. I'm funny. I'm handsome. The facts don't lie. Someone I think that I can then relate to on a very personal, emotional, and physically good-looking level is Carlos. He's funny. He has his helmet on all the time. What am I wearing right now? A hat. This is my helmet. This is my protection from anything that may harm me in life. I'm funny. He's funny. I'm charming. He's charming. I'm handsome. He's handsome. With the same person, I gravitate towards people like Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Maeve.
Okay, I would like to pull up a picture that Alex Giacomo has made for the house chat in Final Four. This is Big Brother Rash. And who is in the Carlos head? Me! Who is it, Carlos? It's me. So his favorite player in the game is me. My points. What?
I'm just waiting for your answer to the question, Emma.
My answer is obviously Carlos because it's me.
How could she pick if you're...
What do you? Obviously, Carlos was the funniest one of the group, and he was a risk taker like me in this game. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, that ends the jury questioning phase. But before the final vote, each member of the final two will have one last chance to plead their case to the jury. Alex, you have the floor first. So,
Okay.
But yes, Alex, take it away.
Okay. Esteemed jury, you all look ravishing tonight, especially you, Juliana, showman's wink wink, thanks to Bestie Anthony. Since day one, I am proud to say that I've been fighting for this win. I think that goes to show for itself. Me and Aaron even tried to flip the Matt vote. That's right, the Matt vote. I've studied my 14 pages of handwritten notes a shit ton. Even back in the majority alliance during the pre-jury, which I'm sure we all remember, I've been working to put myself in a good position because I knew that big alliances can only last so long. This in came my strategy. It was in and out for the whole season, but really took root and was never not there for me. In the spirit of the season, heroes versus villains, I decided that I was going to play like a villain to gain both enemies and even stronger allies, because I realized when you play like a villain and gain enemies, you gain stronger allies as opposed to just being a number for other people, which was not what I was going to do this season. On my first HOH on day 18, I realized that I wasn't as well seated as I thought, that there was a whole group of connected players above me: Aaron, Anthony, James, Bella, Ross. I totally wrecked James, Anthony's, and Aaron's game, took all the heat and even a punishment for it. Thanks, Bestie Anthony. But I don't regret it, because I know that it's what I had to do to survive. No matter how much they try to convince me otherwise to save themselves that they were still working with me, I took a risk by standing my ground and keeping them as enemies to give me something to play for, and I sure as hell played. The people I predicted long-term in that move were people like Caitlin, Julia, Reza, Juliana, and Maeve. Those were my allies. And I proved to them that I was loyal. I stayed loyal up until the final two through taking Maeve on my final HOH. In the words of Tila Dunn, fun fact, actually really, really sad fact, the kid who went into the season with one comp win over 2 seasons won every HOH he played in from that point on. That's 6 in a row. That's 5 in a row, giving me a total of 6, breaking the record for winning the riskiest position in the game most times in a single season. I took 2 endurance comps, the legendary figure it out puzzle, an 11-minute tipping point win, and a tiebreaker in the final 4 where I was only off by 4. I guaranteed my spot in the final 3 by winning the final 4 HOH, and guaranteed my spot in the final 2 by winning the final 3 HOH. And that's just my HOHs. I have 2 vetoes and 2 HVVs to give me a total of 10 total. Me and Nave are tied, but I think the weight on mine bears more in the fact that the majority of mine are HOHs, that you get most blood on your hands. I got a lot of blood on my hands, but I kept pushing forward because I knew it was going to worth it. It was going to be worth it. I'm not going to lie. If this season was any of the past 4, I would have been named a villain on All-Stars. But that's where people underestimated me, and I took advantage of that. I started as a hero and may have ended as a hero by taking Maeve, but don't get me wrong, I had some villainous actions in there. But part of my strategy was that it wasn't a coincidence that by the time people figured out that this was my strategy, it was too late. I finished with this: 11th to 10th to 1st. There are times that charm people. I ask for your vote because I proved that I was playing to win. Your vote is the last step in making this happen. Maeve has just once again continued to prove that she's a comp beast, but I think what value is in my game is the fact that I stepped it up from 1 comp win over 2 seasons to 10 in a single one. That shows effort. That shows doing better and better and working towards this point, and I feel like I should be rewarded for making it to the final 2. I won the final HOH, and I think that just goes to show how good of a game I played. I love you all.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, Maeve, since you'll now get 3 minutes too. We know you told me 2 minutes, but if you need 3 minutes, you can take 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to talk slower because obviously I talk a little fast when I'm nervous. But okay. Let me preface this by saying I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be sitting here next to one of my best friends and closest allies in this game. I want to thank Steven and Scott for making this one of the best experiences of my entire life. I'm not kidding, my entire life. I had so much fun. Shut up. Since the beginning, I've reached out to each and every one of you with the full truth when I could. I wasn't here to BS myself to the end. I knew coming into the season I'd be considered somewhat of a comp beast, like Alex said, and I knew I had to downplay these abilities towards the beginning and start winning when it was necessary. I also knew that people didn't think of me as a solo player, that I was just a pawn in James's game, and I needed to show people that that was completely untrue. I aligned myself with some of the best people in the game and outside of it. I got to meet some amazing and hilarious people, shout out to Reza especially, while also getting so much closer with the people I knew coming into this, like Bella, Julia, Caitlin, Emma, Aaron, the list goes on. I would like to take a minute to tell you all something that I doubt any of you really know. Please don't get mad at me. I won the first superpower, giving me the ability to block 3 votes on eviction night. I knew I had to block Juliana's vote because I wanted Luke gone. Luke used me as a pawn the week prior, and I was not a fan of that. Next, I blocked Anthony's vote to shift the blame on Bella or Ross. And lastly, I blocked Alex's to cover my tracks. This was planned and executed to a T, and no one suspected a thing from me. Another thing that I kept pretty under wraps was my alliance with Bella. By aligning with James, Reza, and Juliana, it may have looked like I was working for their side of the house, but I also maintained a great relationship with Bella, keeping a deal not to nominate her for 3 weeks, which we both held true to each other. I also worked very closely with Caitlin and Julia, as they were not only great allies, but amazing people to surround myself with. I played the best freaking game I could have, and I hope you can all see why I fully deserve this win and the credit to my name. I've done everything in my power to be here tonight, and I will do everything in my power to win it. Just 2 nights ago, I was begging and sobbing Erin and Emma to take me to the final 3 if they won the final 4 veto. I poured my entire heart and soul into those pleas when it ended up not even mattering since I was the only one to complete the timed veto, securing my final 3 spot. Here I am, once again, laying out my entire game for you, the jury. Now, one last point since I've been torn about this for the past 48 hours. Last season, a group of the jury didn't believe that I made moves by myself, that since I'm so loyal, I did James's dirty work and he carried me to the end. I'm here to say that that's incorrect for season 4, and it's completely unheard of in this season. It pains me to the core, truly, just to hear people say this because it comes from nowhere. It comes from prejudgment of my game. Instead of listening to my pleas, they were stuck on thinking I was just incompetent. Now, since I've heard some of the same things from people this season, that Alex or Juliana controlled my moves, I would like to make note that I did this myself. You can check my back, there are no strings, only allies. Allies that I did have to turn on to make it here. So please, if you haven't gotten the chance, abandon the mindset that I don't know what I'm doing because I got here and I know exactly how and why. Before I close this up, I do want to reach out to James. I did not mean to call you out like this, but I owe you one last apology. You're an amazing friend, always have been, always will be, and I'm sorry for how I treated you as a player in their final week. I truly am. To the jury, your individual vote is so important to me, and I hope we can forget any ill will we have between us, and I hope you can vote for the person who deserves it the most. In my eyes, that's me. Thank you.
Thank you, jury, and thank you, Alex and Maeve. It's now time for the jury to cast their votes. Over the commercial break, these 11 former house guests will cast their vote on who they want to be the winner of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains. And when we return, we reveal the results and crown our new champion. Stay with us. Welcome back to the season finale of Big Brother. The jury has just voted for a winner, and now either Alex or Maeve will become the winner of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains.
All right,
All right.
everyone.
Before we get to the votes, back in March, you all know, we started this thing, and 58 people later, many months, what, like 8 months? Not 10 months? 10 months.
10 months now.
We are proud to finish season 5. Thank you so much. We know this was a very long and grueling season. Thank you for sticking with it for the most part. And yeah, I mean, you want to say anything?
Steven and I started this over quarantine as a fun thing to do to keep in touch with some people, but have since become closer friends with the 18 original people, have met a bunch of new friends. Shout out Kate and Grace and Maeve and James and all you and Hayes and all you other people that we really did not know much before. 58 people later, almost 200 days, 5 seasons, all stars, and hopefully many, many more to come. So as much as we made this happen, the 18 of you plus Matt and Dan made it happen. And we are ever so grateful, and we cannot wait for not only you guys, but the world to see what has happened in these past 50 days.
And Alex and Maeve, final 2. I have to say, sorry to all the other finalists here, but I think
I have no problem saying that you two are absolutely not only the strongest final 2 we've had, but also straight up the most impressive final showing out of anyone ever. So huge applause to you guys. Not only that, the jury, if we look at it, is a stacked group of people. And then if we look at the pre-jury, also stacked and exciting.
We stacked the cast really.
We stacked the cast. It was us.
Yeah.
It's us guys.
But Alex and Maeve, congratulations to whoever wins. But whoever becomes runner-up of this great season, know that you absolutely killed it. All right, you ready?
Alrighty.
We're good. Okay.
Alrighty. So, without further ado, let's get to the final vote reveal of season 5. Emma has voted for Maeve to be the winner of Big Brother. That is currently 1 vote Maeve, no votes Alex.
Erin has voted for Alex to be the winner of Big Brother. You're tied 1-1.
Yes. Julia has voted for Maeve to be the winner of Big Brother All Stars. We have 2 votes for Maeve, 1 vote for Alex.
Caitlin has cast her vote for Maeve to be the winner of Big Brother. We have 3 votes for Maeve and 1 vote for Alex.
Alrighty, moving on to Bella. Bella has cast her vote for Maeve to be the winner of Big Brother. That is 4 votes for Maeve, 1 vote for Alex.
Reza has cast his vote for Alex to be the winner of Big Brother. That is 4 votes for Maeve and 2 votes for Alex.
Moving on to Anthony Ventresca. Anthony has voted for Alex to be the winner of Big Brother. We currently have 4 votes for Maeve, 3 votes for Alex.
Juliana has cast her vote for Alex to be the winner of Big Brother. We are tied at 4 votes apiece with 3 votes left. Take 6 to win.
James has voted for Alex to be the winner of Big Brother. Alex leads 5 votes to Maeve's 4.
Ross has cast his vote for Maeve to be the winner of Big Brother, which
Okay, all right, we gotta make this super suspenseful.
which means it all comes down to Luke's vote.
Luke voted for, and a big congratulations to
Maeve
Haggerty.
You are the winner of Big Brother. Maeve, once again, congratulations on being the winner of Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains. And Alex, a big congratulations to you as well. You both played amazingly. Well, it's been quite a season, but it's not over just yet. We have one last prize to give out tonight, and that is Production's favorite house guests. In no particular order, the top 3 house guests to receive this prize were Alex, Bella, and Juliana. And production has decided that their favorite house guest is Alex. Congratulations. You deserve this so much. So, Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains has officially come to a close. But as one season ends, another one is always getting ready to begin. Season 6 gets underway on Monday, May 31st. Stay tuned to our Instagram at BigBrother_SS to get live updates on who's still in the game. Then, on Friday, July 9th, get ready for the official premiere of Season 6, where you'll find out all of the strategy and gameplay of the 16 new house guests. Once again, a big thank you to all 20 house guests who spent countless months putting so much effort into the season. We appreciate you so much. That's all we have for tonight. For the last time, from outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. We'll see you next season. Good night.